In Romans chapter 8, Paul said that we are more than conquerors, but I don't know about you, it doesn't always feel that way. So let's explore, what did he mean and how do we respond? Welcome to God Powered. Over the next few episodes, we're going to explore what does the word say about being more than a conqueror. And this is the kind of verse that so many people can quote, but do we really know how to respond to it? Do we really know how to make it a reality in our lives? And in the context, the verses leading up to it, Paul talks about tribulation, famine, all sorts of challenges. That's the context that it talks about this. And then it says, we're regarded as sheep for the slaughter. So in that context, he says, but we are more than conquerors through him who loved us. So that's nice. But this verse, more than most, requires a response on our part. It requires a participation on our part for it to become a reality in our life. So over the next few episodes, we're going to explore that. How do we respond and how do we make that increasingly a reality in our lives? One of the themes that you hear from me on a regular basis is this concept of us growing from children who are passive, waiting for God to act, to growing into sons and daughters of the living God, that we might fulfill all that He has for us. And I think this really comes into play when we understand the definition, what it means to be more than a conqueror. And unfortunately, when I research this, I start to realize how rarely we experience the reality of it in our lives. Now, hopefully, you're the exception. Hopefully, you're living at a different level. But when we look at that, to be more than a conqueror, what does it mean? Well, this is an active verb, and it means to vanquish or to gain a surpassing, decisive victory. Now, doesn't it seem like so often, though, we might have some small victories here or there, but we're not really gaining that decisive victory. We're not vanquishing, but rather we're just kind of hanging on. Now, I want to be careful that I don't kind of make this sound like that Jesus has said, the Bible says that, hey, you're going to have no problems because you're such an amazing conqueror. You know, there's a thing where we can take faith to the extreme. And one of the things that the New Testament tells us repeatedly is we are going to have challenges. We're going to have trials and tribulation in this world. That is the reality of the world we live in. But the intention is for us to overcome, for us to, through the power of Him. Now, that's the interesting part of this. When we look at this verse, what does it say? We're more than conquerors through Him who loved us. So when we try to be victorious in our strength, we're missing the point and probably not doing as well as we think we are. We are completely, totally dependent on Him. And I find that those challenges drive me closer to Him. Now, but I want to point something out. So the verse prior, and many people misquote it. And what it says is we are accounted or we're regarded as sheep for the slaughter. See, the things that we're going to look at in this series, we're going to look at spiritual warfare, the things we battle against, and even the world per se, they underestimate you and I. They don't see the value. They don't see the power of our relationship with the living God. Now, to be fair, you and I have no power. It's all His. It's all for His glory. It's all for His purposes, but we are the recipients of the blessings of it. But the world doesn't see that. And so because of that, they underestimate you and I. I don't want you or I to underestimate what God intends for us. But again, what I think we're going to see increasingly is an absolute necessity of the participation on our part. We have to take action. We have to lay hold of that promise and see it become a reality and an increasing level in our lives. Now, one of the things I find is most of the promises of God are what I call progressive. In other words, as we lay hold of something, it's not like there's, boom, an instant transformation. Now, the exception is salvation. When you say yes to Jesus Christ, and if you're watching this and you never have, let me encourage you, just ask Him to be Lord of your life. That is an instantaneous, boom, done. But most of the promises are progressive. Why? We grow in them. We grow in the knowledge of them. We grow in the power of them in our lives. And so we live in a season of life that more than ever, we need to be more than conquerors. And what we're going to see in this series is being more than a conqueror. First off, we have to know the battle that's before us. We need to understand what our participation is and what it is not. See, one of the things we're going to see is the weapons of our warfare are not carnal. In other words, the weapons of our warfare are not natural. The weapons of our warfare are not in our strength. But the weapons of our warfare are spiritual for tearing down strongholds. What does that mean? And how does that help us to become more than a conqueror? So I want to leave you with this, and this first episode is this. I want to say a change in a mindset. First off, we're not victims. We are not sheep for the slaughter, but rather you are a son and daughter of the living God. And He intends for us to become more than conquerors. Does that mean all of our problems go away? All of our challenges go away? No, but what it means is we will increasingly grow in all that He has for us. And we will increasingly grow in the likeness of the one who paid the price for you and I. So I want to leave you with this. As we go further in this, I want to just get a mindset that I want that in your mind and my mind. We are more than conquerors. And when the challenges come into our life, we're not intimidated. Now, as we'll see, we're not dealing with them in our strength. We're going to the one who has the power. We're going to the one who has the answer. But the one who is willing and looking to move on our behalf. So, before we go any further, you and I, we are more than conquerors through Him who loved us.